Hello, welcome back to Blender Sushi LIVENODING. Today I will be showing you a little trick that you can do using Blender and SVerchok. Basically, the ability to bake animations into shape keys. So what you really need is just a changing mesh, and then this script will bake it into shape keys. It's really, really simple. Thanks to Victor to provide this script. So in a nutshell, you just copy the script and you can save it into text, and then in Blender just paste it into text editor, new, paste it here. So this is Python BPY script, and I will quickly show you an example using SVerchok. So save this first. This is SV Shapekeys example. Oh, Shapekeys Baker. So currently it's a script, and then let's make something really quick. The easiest way to bake something, to test something like this, is to just randomize a shape. So bmesh viewer. So this is the normal box. Okay, and we can randomize the vertices of the box and randomize the seed. So for every frame I will just use a different seed, so we have a different result. Okay, so select the objects. So this thing will bake a single object at a time, and just run the script. Now you're gonna end up with the bake object and then the normal objects. The bake one actually have keyframe, as you can see, and the keyframe is happening here on the shape keys. And that's actually what it is, what this script will do in a nutshell. We can, for example, if I decided, okay, I'll delete everything, or I'll save a new file. I'll delete everything from SVerchok, so we have nothing. So we have one object that's keep moving, and the other one, this is the one that SVerchok is modifying, but this guy is working. So this is changing the shape keys on every frame. It's kind of like baking a state of mesh at that particular of time. You can turn off relative. Now you have this evaluation time, which is actually really interesting. If you like give it a driver, in this case the frame number, and just run it now, it's changing shape based on the shape keys, pretty much. So with this in mind, let's try another thing. Random vector, let's make it like 100. So we have 100 points that's going to be generated on the fly. So if I select the points, you can see it on the 3D view, and we can randomize the seed, which is kind of randomizing the position, and also randomize it's actually better to randomize it using randomized input vertices. So doing the same thing, plug in the frame into the seed. With this guy still being selected, run the script. Now you're done. Turn off this object and do not update either. So we still have this guy working. So this is the bake object. And with the bake object, again, we can turn on relative, turn off relative, and now we can play around with the evaluation time. This actually gives really nice motion. It's almost like that insects you usually find in the afternoon. I don't know what it's called, but yep, you got this thing happening, right? And you can delete everything in SVerchok, and you still have this object working, because this is a bake object. Now let's save this again. With this guy already baked, we can You can use objects in, get selection, turn on pause modifier, because the shape keys is almost like a modifier. It's a pause thing, and you can use like maybe metaball or metaball light and create a metaball object, grab it, plug this into this guy, and then okay, now we have something that's moving. So these points and metaballs, and we got these objects. I think it's pretty interesting, and you can increase the threshold, and at the beginning of the frame, you can see it's a bit funky, but the rest of them seems to, it's almost like noise moving the points. Yeah, I don't know why this is working, but it's interesting. So that's another example of baking shape keys. But you can do a lot of things, right? Anything in. Let's do another one, and let's make this a little bit more interesting now. Let's see, text editor. Just open. I have the script already here. So SVbake. This is by Victor. And note editor. If you want something to do with extrusion, for example, let's try plane and make a bunch of. Oops, let's save this as SVbake extrude. What's the fastest and easiest way to extrude is actually, you can use inset, or you can also use multi-extrude alt. So this one is a power node. Whichever you choose, I think inset special is easier. So plain bmesh output. So I want to show you a lot of tricks today. Vertices and polygon. So we should have a grid of some sort, and then we want to insert it. Give it a little bit of distance. Now we almost have like a poke. If we zero the inset, okay, if we set inset to 1 instead of any other value, it's almost like extrude. And the distance can be random number. Plug this into the distance. Okay. Now, so 3 by 3, or set this 4 by 4. If we put a frame into this guy, so we have this happening, right? It's moving really fast. It's changing the mesh every time. But if you bake it now and then delete everything, or save it first, delete or just hide the SVerchok one. We have the bake one, and turn off relative. Now we can evaluate it. So it's nice. This is a nice motion. Give a frame number to control it, and just play back. And yep, that's basically it. It's a lot of kind of like a random thing, random mesh that's baked into shape keys, and then kind of interpolate between the result. So you have this really nice motion. Okay, so that's basically what I want to show you today. This is really useful. Thanks again to Victor Dorval, for this really cool script. There are many other ways to do this. Maybe in the future we just have a node that's gonna do the baking, but for now this script is the simplest way. Thanks again for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Bye.